What if the history we were taught was only part of the story? Not a lie, exactly, but a carefully simplified version of the truth. From a young age, we are told that ancient humans were primitive, that they lived simple lives, that they struggled just to survive. We imagine caves, basic tools, and people with little understanding of the world around them. But when we look at the physical evidence left behind, this story begins to fall apart. Across the world, massive ancient structures still stand, not broken, not random, but precise. Stone blocks weighing hundreds of tons, cut and placed with a level of accuracy that challenges even modern engineering. These stones were not roughly shaped. They were not stacked by chance. They were measured, aligned, and fitted together perfectly. What makes this even more difficult to explain is the technology available at the time. There was no electricity, no steel machinery, no computers, no advanced tools as we know them today. Yet these civilizations achieved results that modern machines still struggle to replicate. This raises an uncomfortable question. If ancient humans were truly primitive, how did they create something so advanced? Some historians say it was simply hard work, that enough time, enough labor, and enough determination, anything is possible. But hard work alone does not explain precision. Hard work does not create perfect angles. Hard work does not create mathematical alignment. Knowledge does. And this is where history becomes complicated. Many ancient cultures clearly understood mathematics, geometry, and engineering at an advanced level. They built structures aligned with the sun, the stars, and the natural cycles of the earth. These alignments were not decorative, they were intentional, accurate, and repeatable. This suggests planning, understanding, and shared knowledge. Even more surprising, this knowledge appears suddenly in the historical record. One moment, a civilization seems simple, then suddenly advanced construction appears, and after a period of time, that knowledge disappears again. Civilizations rise, they reach a peak of understanding, and then they collapse. What happens to their knowledge? Why wasn't it passed down clearly? Why do later cultures seem to lose what earlier ones understood? There are several possible explanations. Some believe natural disasters destroyed these societies: earthquakes, floods, climate changes. Others believe wars and invasions wiped out centers of knowledge. And some believe the knowledge was intentionally controlled. Throughout history, knowledge has always meant power. Those who understand how the world works gain influence over those who do not. It is not difficult to imagine that advanced knowledge was restricted, protected, or even removed. History books rarely focus on what was lost. They focus on what survived, and what survives is often incomplete. Written records disappear, oral traditions change, and over time, complex knowledge becomes myth. Stories once meant to teach become legends, then folklore, then fantasy. Eventually, they are dismissed entirely. But stone does not lie. Structures cannot exaggerate, they cannot invent stories. They either exist or they do not. And they exist. Still standing, still precise, still unexplained. This creates a gap between what we are taught and what we can see with our own eyes. To make this gap comfortable, we label these achievements as mysteries. We say, we don't fully understand how they did it, and then we move on. But not understanding something does not mean it was impossible. It means our explanation is incomplete. Ancient civilizations were not just survivors, they were observers. They studied the world, they experimented, they refined their methods over generations. They understood materials, they understood force, they understood balance, and perhaps they understood cycles. Cycles of growth, cycles of collapse, cycles of forgetting. It is possible that humanity has risen to advanced levels before and then fallen, each time losing pieces of knowledge, starting again from fragments. If this is true, then history is not a straight line, it is a circle, and we may not be as advanced as we believe ourselves to be. The real danger of this idea is not that it changes the past, it changes how we see ourselves. Because if ancient people were capable of more than we were taught, then our assumptions about progress are incomplete. It means intelligence is not linear. It can rise and it can fall. And perhaps some of the most important knowledge is not hidden in books, but embedded in stone, waiting, not to be worshipped, not to be feared, but to be understood. So the real question is not, how did they build this? The real question is, why did we stop asking? Because history is not just what happened, it is what we choose to remember. And sometimes the truth is not erased, it is simply ignored, until someone looks closely enough to see it again.